comes the, y'all don't really want it like.
Hey everybody, I'm Squid. I am back with another battle with my buddy George from Team Alpha. I'll leave his link in the description below. Be sure to check him out. Now, this battle was more of like a miscommunication battle. Now, on the PSS, you can set out like, oh, I'm looking for battles here. Who wants to trade? And I was like, alright, looking for UU battle. And I guess I forgot that it was up there. My buddy George was looking for an NU battle. So I set up an NU team ready to challenge him. He must have set up a U team getting ready to challenge me. And what happens is he's going to go up against my NU team. I'm going up against one scary UU team. The wall core, he's got Quag, he's got Blissey. Florges, which is always a problem. That Sableye has caused me many problems in the past. I'm assuming it's a Choice Bandit Entei because I'm not sure what else you would put on it. That's all I ever see. And finally, there is a Noivern. Now, this team I'm running with is a new NU team, excuse me. I'm going to be running Scarf Luxray. I have Scarf Miss Mabel. Yes, I am running dual Scarves. But the reason I'm running dual Scarves is because Mr. Mime, or Miss Mabel, has Trick. So I could trick away a Scarf, and I could still have a Scarf on my team. This way that I'll just always have that speed advantage, unless I really need, Miss Mabel to keep her Scarf to outspeed whatever they have. And I can just use Luxray for Intimidate, Volt switching later on with a Scarf. Also, I am running with Muck, which is just a curse, Facade, Poison Jab, Shadow Sneak set. I do have a Bouffalon, which I've been waiting to use for a very long time, so I finally got around to breeding one, and he's now up and running. Also, Cacturn. I've been wanting to use a Cacturn forever. I've loved using it back in Emerald, back in all the 3rd gen stuff. So I also found out something interesting, was that Cacturn can learn Switcheroo. So this team is more based around like crippling my opponent's team with a Choice Band and a Scarf from either Miss Mabel or from my Cacturn. And finally, I have my Trick Room setter to set up for my Bouffalon, which is my Gourgeist, where I can either go for like a Will-O-Wisp, I can go for a Trick Room, a Destiny Bond, and Shadow Ball is just like a coverage move so that I won't be completely defenseless unless I'm going up against, like a Blissey, which is, any kind of normal type. But I definitely want to get into this game. It is quite interesting for an NU-UU showdown. So let's see what happens. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to lead off with my Luxray because that is going to be my lead in this game. Because not only is I'm going to lead with a Scarf, but if I don't like the matchup to begin with, I can end up just Volt switching out, and then I can get any kind of switch advantage that I'd like. Unfortunately, I don't have Superpower on this just because, that is a transfer move, and I couldn't get my hands on it. All my Pokemon are Kalos Born right now, except for like old stuff that I had back in 5th gen. But everything I'm running with right now is Kalos Born. So I'm going to take advantage of this. Blissey really can't do much to me. If he wants to Toxic me, it's whatever. Turns out he's just going to set up his Stealth Rocks, and he has his leftovers. I'm going to take full advantage of this. If I can lock this guy into a Choice Band, that would make my day. The only thing better than that would be to lock Sableye into a Choice Band. So he's actually going to switch into Sableye here, knowing that he could take any hit, and then he can respond with a Will-O-Wisp, start burning stuff. But not this game. Not this game. We're not going to deal with that. We're going to Choice Band the Sableye here, and we're going to go into Lemon Drop. Lemon Drop is really one of the only Pokemon that really wants to take a burn. That's really not going to affect it besides the Muck, but I don't want to reveal that just yet because I really want to get my Trick Room up and set for my Bouffalon later on. Now here, I know he's going to switch because he's not just going to keep Will-O-Wisping me. There's no way he's going to do that. Now I'm going to take advantage of this, and I'm going to set up my Trick Room, and I see the most beautiful situation I could ever wish for, which is Entei. Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of Entei in competitive. He was the bane of my existence in 5th gen RU, so to see this happen, I'm very excited. I get Trick Room up. Now, I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to go for Destiny Bomb because I know this guy is going to knock me out. Now, I go for the Destiny Bond. He is going to end up going for the Sacred Fire. And I'm sitting there, I was like, alright, I know I am pretty bulky. It's just a bulky Pokemon in general, but I'm assuming Choice Band, Entei, Sacred Fire are going to knock me out. And I take down one of the biggest threats on his team right now. And that was just a beautiful sight for me. And now I have 4 turns set of the Trick Room to do whatever I'd like. Now here, I actually end up going out into Miss Mabel, which kind of works out because he goes into his Noivern. He doesn't know I'm Scarfed at this point. He has no idea. So now he's going to switch out, fearing the Dazzling Gleam. but he doesn't know here that he actually outspeeds me because of my scarf. So he's actually going to switch into Floor Just Switch. It's a good trade. It's a good switching right there because he's going to eat up my Dazzling Gleam. It is going to do a little bit of damage, nothing he can't just shake off with recovery. So now what I'm going to do is I want to take advantage of this. I'm going to switch out. I'm going to go right into my Muck because I want to force him out. Now, he is weak to my Poison Jab. He really can't do anything to touch me. I know some Floors do carry Psychic, but it's not as common as you'd think. So he's going to go for a Wish just to scout out whatever I want to do. And turns out I'm in a good situation. Now, I am pretty much walled by the Quagsire, but I still want to get some damage off. I figured, you know, maybe if I go for a Poison Jab, if he wants to switch, I can get some kind of poison on anybody. Turns out he does go into the Quagsire here. I'm just going to go for the Poison Jab. Now, I'm not Poison Touch. I'm actually Sticky Hold to stop knockoff. So I figured that I could set up, if someone wants to try and knock off my Black Sludge, I can go for a Curse with that. It's not going to do much because it's not going to get rid of my item. And I get a free +1 in attack and defense. And I get health back. But turns out, Quagsire, I do end up getting the Poison Hack. Now, I want to switch out because I know it carries Earthquake, and I don't want to be knocked out yet. So I'm going to go into my dude, Cacturn, knowing that I can end up taking an Earthquake. Turns out he's going to end up going for Yawn. He's going to start forcing switches. He wants something to go to sleep. I don't want anything to go to sleep. Now, he does have the Rocks up. I didn't spin it away. I had no Spinner or Defogger on this team. So now he can force switches with the Yawn. Had me shuffled around, but I know he's probably not going to want to stay in here just because he can switch into anything to eat a Seed Bomb. And if I end up staying in, then I go to sleep. But I really need that Cacturn to stay alive for late game. Because I do have a plan up my sleeve now that the Choice Band is on the Sableye. So I'll get into that later on. Now, it turns out he's going to switch out here as well. Now, this is my chance. Sableye comes in. He's going to burn me. I know he's going to burn me because why wouldn't you burn a Muck? I can set up curses and everything. That's going to be a problem. He doesn't know that I carry Facade. I carry Facade on my Muck just for the fact that every time I use it, more often than not, it gets burned. So why don't I take that negative, turn it into a positive? It's going to be unstabbed, but if I get some curses up underneath it, it's going to be a very powerful attack. Now here, I'm going to predict him to switch out because I know he doesn't want to stay in and just keep Will-O-Wisping me. And he's going to switch into Noivern. He knows he can take any attack. However, I do catch him with the Facade. This Facade does a ridiculous amount to the Noivern. Huge amount. Like, that's just, I'm just letting you guys know. If you have a Pokemon that's a physical attacker that more than often gets burned, put Facade on it, even if it's not stabbed. It's a very solid attack. Now, I'm going to end up going for a Poison Jab here, predicting him to switch out because I wouldn't expect him to stay in. I didn't know what he was going to go in for. I figured I'd just go for any kind of poison attack, just on the off chance that he wanted to switch into his Forges, which it actually, ass backwards, I fall onto that lucky. Now, unfortunately for him, I do get a crit, but I'm not sorry for that crit. Well, I do get the poison as well. That sucks. It kind of just hurried up the process of me taking out the Forges because he really can't do anything to me with a Moonblast. And even after burn, I did look it up. It does like 55% without a crit. So it would have ended up being a 2-hit KO regardless. If he wanted to sit there and try and Wish Stall me, you know, I would have ended up 2-hit KOing it eventually. But the fact that I do have more health, it may come in at the end, you know. But in the long run, that floor just would have been 2-hit KO'd. So I'm not, you know, too worried about that. Now here, he's going to bring the Quagsire in. I'm going to go for a Facade. I'm going to get a crit. Now this one, that one mattered a little bit because it definitely did way more than it should have. He's going to take this opportunity, set up a stockpile, probably predicting me to switch out, fearing the Earthquake, but I'm not really too scared of it. Now here, I'm going to end up going for a Facade again, thinking, alright, you know, I could definitely take him out from here. I'm not too scared of it. You know, the poison's racking up. You know, that's a good minuscule amount of health. Facade is boosted. Now, I'm going to end up going for a Facade again. This Quagsire's bulk is unreal. I'm not going to go for any curses just because, you know, he's probably unaware and he's just, it's not going to matter. He ends up living on like 1 HP. He's going to recover all that off. I was like, alright, now I'm going to be in a little bit of a sticky situation because if he ends up setting up all these stockpiles, he's going to end up, he could probably have Scald as his last move. Probably, oh wait, no, he just has Earthquake. It should be Recover, Stockpile, Yawn, Earthquake. Alright, just figured out a set. It was, alright, it wasn't clear to me then, but it's clear to me now. Unfortunately, I don't have any kind of flying type to dodge that, so I'm going to switch into Miss Mabel here. I still have my Scarf. Now, I'm going to end up, what I'm going to do is he's going to go for recover, and I want to trick him in to a move so he can't set up anymore. And plus, he is weak on his special side, so he's not going to be taking a hit too well anyway. Now, the poison is going to rack up just, a little bit. It's just normal poison, so it's not going to be doing, like, toxic damage. So I'm going to trick him here. Now, he is free to pick any move that he would like. This is not going to lock him into his recover. So he actually opts to go for Earthquake here, which isn't too great. He is more defensive, so I am okay to live at least one hit. I know I don't have the greatest defenses in the world as Miss Mabel, but I am able to live it on just a little bit amount. Now, I need to keep Miss Mabel around because it's the only Pokemon that I have that's going to end up taking out the Sableye because it is super effective with the Dazzling Gleam. Now, I'm going to take this opportunity. I am going to switch into my Cacturne here because I know I do resist the Earthquake. I do end up having leftovers after tricking my my Choice Band away. Now, here, I don't want to set up Swords Dances just yet because I do have to remember that I don't know if I can live 2 Earthquakes after this, even though it is resisted. So I'm just going to go for a Seed Bomb, see what he wants to do. And he's going to end up switching out here because he wants to keep his Quagsire for later. And he's actually going to switch into his Sableye here. Now, this is the plan I had before. A Burn cuts you down by 50%. So if I can get his Swords Dance up, that will put me back to neutral. If he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, then he'll be forced to switch, which will allow me to get another Swords Dance up. So I'll be at +2 with a Burn, +4 without. He actually opts to go for a Recover, predicting me to switch out, predicting him to go for a Will-O-Wisp, but I end up just setting up a Swords Dance. Now, I don't know if he would have expected that on a Switcheroo Choice Band set. This is something I just, made up on a whim. I thought it'd be pretty cool. So, that's pretty much going to be the game there. He knows that it's set. I will be able to Sucker Punch everything from that point on. He did have the Quagsire left, which was stuck into his Scarf. He did have the Noivern, which is probably full out attacking. And he did have the Blissey, which I could have killed with a Seed Bomb eventually. So that is going to be the game. Definitely go check out George once again. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think about, the trick team and crippling my opponent's team. But yeah, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stick around for more battles, and I'll catch you guys next time. Okay, bye.